If high rates of inflation did occur, how would the consequences for Berkshire compare to those for most large companies?
So far, we've been very wrong, or I've been very wrong. Charlie's probably been a little bit wrong too.
Of course.
Yeah. No, I would not have predicted that you could have 5 or 6 years of close to zero rates and now get negative rates in Europe and run fairly large deficit, although the current deficit is not that large. I mean, the country could sustain on average 2 or 2.5% deficits forever and not increase the ratio of debt to GDP. So the word deficit is not a dirty word, but very large deficits and sort of uncontrollable are scary. But we've taken the Federal Reserve balance sheet up from $1 trillion to over $4 trillion, and we've done a lot of things that weren't in my Economics 101 course, and so far nothing bad has happened except for the fact that people who saved and kept money in short-term savings instruments have just totally gotten killed in terms of their the income that they receive from that. But it's still hard for me to see how, if you toss money from helicopters, that eventually you don't have inflation. Certainly if the money supply grows faster and faster relative to the output of goods and services, something like that is supposed to happen. But I've been surprised by what's happened. When Poland issues bonds at a negative interest rates, I did not have that on my list of forecasts a few years ago. And so I think we're operating in a world that Charlie and I don't understand very well, and to the second part of the question, I think Berkshire, in almost any kind of environment, will do better than most big companies. I mean, we are prepared for anything. We'll always be prepared for anything. And if we see really unusual opportunities, we're also prepared to act. And that gives us a real advantage over most big companies. We don't count on anybody else. We're sitting with over 60 billion right now. I'd rather be sitting with 20 billion and have made a great $40 billion acquisition. But we will be very willing to act if economic turbulence of any kind occurs, and we'll be prepared, and most people won't be. Charlie?
Yeah, we have made very little progress in life by trying to outguess these macroeconomic factors. We basically have abdicated. We're just swimming all the time, and we let the tide take care of itself.
And we really we've not seen great successes by others who have been all involved in macro predictions. I mean, they get a lot of airtime, but that's about all that happens.
The trouble with making all these economic pronouncements is that people gradually get so they think they know something. It's much better just to say I'm ignorant.
Yeah. We will find things, though, under any circumstances. They don't come in an even flow. They may not, and you can't predict the size or anything, but you can be sure that over the next 10 years, you'll see a lot of things you didn't think were possible, and we will occasionally see something that makes sense for Berkshire, and we will be prepared to do it both psychologically and financially.